Good evening, YNG. I'm Matt Franchini.
And I'm Christy Lellos.
And this is Sac Tap, where we tap into all of Sacramento's news and information. Wow, Christy, you look tired.
I sure am. I just spent 9 hours on a bus from LA to Sacramento.
Well, I wish I could sympathize, but my friends at Southwest made my flight only 40 minutes.
I heard that people from Berkeley took a train.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. Gee whiz! With all the methods of transportation, it can be difficult to keep track of everything. Here's Tori with the story.
Good evening, Youth and Government, and welcome to the 63rd Model Legislature in Court. Whether it's your first year or your third year here, everyone is sure excited for these next few days under the overcast skies of Sacramento. Whether you arrived by bus, train, or plane, it's sure great to see all the smiling faces of those still arriving. Today's events were a great start in getting everyone acclimated for their roles, and whether you're in Senate, Assembly, Court, Media, or the PAGE program, let's all use these next few days to make some memories. I wish you the best of luck in your roles for the next few days, and this is Tori Millard. Back to you, Matt and Christy.
Well, now that we're here, Matt, where on earth do we go?
I wish I could help you out, Christy, but this is my first year. It looks as though we're both up a river without a paddle.
If there are viewers out there like us, don't panic.
Our seasoned YNG veteran, Jason, is here to enlighten us about where to go and when to be there.
Guys, we're here outside the Hyatt in Sacramento, and I must say, I can hardly remember anything so glorious. Hundreds of youth and government delegates are enjoying the benefits of premier delegation status. Just across L Street from the Convention Center, the Hyatt is one of the 2 hotels provided for the yearly model legislature in court. But for all the newbies and rusty returners out there, that's just the beginning. Here's a friendly little intro to SAC with all those places to be. Let's kick off with the Trinity Room, which, in case you didn't know, is right inside the Hyatt on the 2nd floor. This is a place to go for those unlucky few who lost their badges. Also, there is a friendly, knowledgeable staff available to help out in case somebody runs into trouble. They can be thought of as the Ask Jeeves of Sacramento. Nearby is our trusty Office of Research, where a wide range of delegates can access internet browsers in order to inform themselves better on a topic of interest. Whether you're a speaker, looking for a valid argument, or a legislative analyst seeking statistics, the Office of Research has it all. Heed this warning, YNG delegates. The Office of Research could mean life or death for your bill. Although not quite the Hyatt, the lobby here in the Sheraton sure is something else. A metropolitan blend of culture livens up the atmosphere of a good hangout place. This is indeed the 2nd hotel that is provided for the model legislature in court here in Sacramento. And last but not least, who can forget, the center of YNG model legislature in court itself, the Convention Center. Built out of its chrome and glass walls, here we have not only a Starbucks, but the joint sessions, individual sessions, a whole bunch of forum activities and NIC activities, and every activity you could possibly imagine. And to all those YNG delegates out there, I hope you had an interesting tour of all those places to be in and around SAC. Coming from Jason Byrne here at KYNG News, back to you.
Thanks, Jason. It's good to know that I'm not going to get lost in Sacramento, especially on my way to joint session.
Speaking of joint session, I loved all the inspirational speakers at the Convention Center.
We were privileged to have a one-on-one interview with California's Secretary of State, Deborah Bowen.
Let's take it to Joey for the story.
Secretary of State Deborah Bowen stopped by today to talk to us at opening joint session. Just this week, she decided to run for U.S. Congress as a House representative from Southern California. Let's go learn more about our Secretary of State. So you're running for the 36th district, and I was wondering, what's going on there? What are the problems? What's it like?
Well, the biggest issue has to be jobs in the economy. And we've all, for a long time in that area, cared about the environment, about quality of life. But if you don't have a job and you can't take care of your family, that's number one. And people in my generation are worried that you all are not going to have as good a shot at a good life as we've had.
Yeah.
So that's the top priority.
Youth in government kind of brings together that generation. Now, the kids living in that area, I believe it's from Venice to San Pedro.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do for them to help them just get that job, get that successful life that they might not have the same opportunity?
Well, I think, there's no way that any government office can do that one person at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have somebody who was aimed at West Point this morning who asked me about that, and that's the kind of thing that we can help with. But it's the overall system set up, and then I've always had a youth council, so I'll do that again.
Of course. So, and now another youth issue is education. It's a bubbling issue in Washington. So what would you do to balance out Obama's plan to cut the deficit?
Well, I look at it this way. We have to live within our means, like any family does, but we also have to be aware that education in California particularly has been the way that no matter where you come from, no matter where you start, you can go on to do just about anything if you work hard. If we cut funding, student loans, Pell Grants at the community colleges, we're going to make it a lot harder for people to climb that ladder. So I think that we cannot just ask the question of where do we cut domestic spending. We have to be sure that we have a strong national defense, but at the same time we have to ask hard questions about things like our involvement in Afghanistan. What's it costing us?
Yeah.
If we were spending some of that amount creating jobs at home, would we be better off?
Now you talked about people starting from something and then going to another place, and I was wondering, how'd you get into politics?
Joined Neighborhood Watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I always see those. Okay.
And
Maybe
then
I'll think about joining
yeah,
now.
I cared about what was going on in my area.
Yeah.
And then I started doing volunteer work with Heal the Bay.
Oh, okay.
Because
I've
at
heard of
at that time, everybody thought that the storm drains were a contained system, and we had to help people understand that if you put something in the storm drain, it winds up in the Santa Monica Bay. Now there's stencils.
Yeah. So what tips to any delegates would you have if they want to be a politician when they grow up? What would you want to say to them?
I think the first thing is you have to decide who you are and what your values are at the core. Figure out what your bottom lines are, because when you're in politics, either here or further up, you'll be pushed all the time.
Yeah.
And if you know what's important to you, then you'll have those places where you say, on this issue, for me it's civil rights, I don't have room for compromise because this is fundamental to who I am. On other issues, we can have a discussion about how we compromise in a way that we can move the whole state, the whole country forward.
Yes. Thank you very much. I learned a lot. We all did.
You're welcome.
We all learned a lot today about our Secretary of State. It's interesting to see what some of us could turn out to be.
Gee, Christy, it sure is cold outside.
Well, Matt, we are on the 15th floor.
I wonder what the weather will be like tomorrow.
Well, let's ask Violet with the weather.
Hi, I'm here at Starbucks because it's 46 degrees outside. But don't worry because things will clear up on Saturday. But in the meantime, bring your umbrella and jackets with you to sessions and maybe stop at Starbucks for a hot drink.
Warm weather? That makes me want to jump for joy.
Or in a bounce house.
What do you mean?
I mean, Christy, that YNG has some awesome activities planned for us to help us wind down. Devin has the scoop.
Whether you like to raise the roof and cut the rug, or prefer to pour your heart out to your fellow YMCA family, whatever your cup of tea is, the social events for this week will have it covered. The social events will begin between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. and range from dances to bounce houses. The schedule for this week's events are as follows. Tonight's social event is the Bounce House Games starting at 10 o'clock. The Governor's Ball will be tomorrow night's social event beginning at 9:30. On Saturday night, there's an unscheduled social event starting at 10:15. And on Sunday, the individual delegation friendship sessions begin at 9 o'clock. This week's events are planned to be a big success. My name is Devin Hampton, and I plan to go to all of these social events. We'll see you there.
Well, look at the time, Christy. I gotta go get ready to get my bounce on.
I'm way ahead of you, Matt. Here from the Hyatt Hotel, I'm Christy signing off.
And I'm Matt signing off until tomorrow. Stay classy, Sacramento.